In this video lesson, we will learn about 45, 45, 90 triangles. This is a similar video to the one about 30, 60, 90 triangles. First, the question of what do we mean by a 45, 45, 90 triangle? Well, these are actually the angles of a triangle. So when we say 45, 45, 90 triangle, we actually mean a triangle that has the angles 90 degrees, 45 degrees, and 45 degrees. For example, the one I drew here. So this is actually just a special type of a right triangle, but it's got a lot of really useful properties. In fact, it is an isosceles triangle, meaning that two of its sides are equal. It's got two equal legs. So if one leg has side length s, the other leg also has the same side length s. It is also really easy to find a formula for the hypotenuse in terms of s. In fact, it's just the square root of 2 times s. So if we know one leg, then we can figure out all the other legs pretty easily from these formulas. Alright, so let's do a few examples and make sure that we understand how 45, 45, 90 triangles work. Alright, so here we have a 90 degree angle and a 45 degree angle, which means that the last angle also has to be 45 degrees. So we do have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and we're given that AC is equal to 3. We want to find the other side lengths. But we know that AC equals BC because it's an isosceles triangle, and that's the way 45, 45, 90 triangles work. So we already know that BC is equal to 3, the same as AC. Now all we got to do is find what AB is equal to. But we know that AB is equal to root 2 times the leg. The leg has got length 3, so AB is equal to 3 root 2. So that concludes the problem. We found both of the lengths that we were asked to find. Alright. Let's do another problem. So we have triangle ABC. A has 45 degrees. Angle B is 90 degrees. Side AC has got length 10. So the trick to these sorts of problems where it's just written down is to make a drawing. So I start with angle B, which is 90 degrees, because 90 degrees is easy to draw. Next, we know that A is 45 degrees, which means we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So I make two sides of equal length, like this. So now we have a drawing, and let's label it. So we have B is 90 degrees, A is 45 degrees. That makes C 45 degrees as well. And we have AC has got length 10. So now we have a fully labeled drawing, and we can obviously see that it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So we just got to calculate AB and BC. So we know that they're equal. So let's label AB X, and BC we could label as Y, but since they are the same, we might as well just use the same variable, the same label, and that'll be X. And what we know is that the hypotenuse should be x times the square root of 2. But the hypotenuse, which is AC, is given to us as 10. So we have x root 2 equals 10. But this we can solve for x. We divide by root 2 on both sides. We get x equals 10 over root 2, But that's not good enough because we need to rationalize the denominator. So we multiply the top and bottom by root 2. And then we get, so the top will just be 10 root 2. And the bottom, the root 2 squared is just 2. And then this simplifies and I get 5 root 2. So AB and BC are both equal to 5 root 2. Great, that concludes this problem. So now let's move on to a last example. Alright, so we have square ABCD has sides of length 14. Find the length of its diagonal. So at first you might ask, how does this have anything to do with 45, 45, 90 triangles? To that I'll say, let's make a drawing first. Whenever you do geometry, it's a good idea to make a drawing. So here we drew the square, I labeled the sides as length 14, and we want to find the length of the diagonal, which I just drew. So this is when the 45, 45, 90 triangle should be recognized. The diagonal actually cuts the angles A and C in half. So originally, angle C was 90 degrees, but then the diagonal cuts it into a 45 and a 45 degree angle. And that's the same is true on the opposite side. But then I can just erase the other half of the square because I guess we don't need it anymore, and look, we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and the diagonal that we were looking for is just the hypotenuse, and we know exactly how to find that. In fact, it's just the square root of 2 times the leg, and the leg has got length 14, so we get 14 root 2. Alright, thank you for watching this video lesson, I hope you found it helpful.